of Dvivida Gorilla. While Sukadev Goswami continued to speak on the transcendental pastimes and characteristics of Lord Sri Krishna, King Parikshit, upon hearing him, became more and more enthusiastic and wanted to hear further. Sukadev Goswami next narrated the story of Dvivid, the gorilla, who was killed by Lord Balaram. Which one was the other demon that Lord Balaram killed? In Talavan, Dhenikasur, right? This gorilla was a great friend of Bhumasuras or Narakasuras, who was killed by Krishna in connection with his kidnapping 16,000 princes from all over the world. Dvivid was the minister of King Sugriv. His brother Minda was also a very powerful gorilla king. When Dvivid gorilla heard the story of his friend Bhumasuras being killed by Lord Krishna, he planned to create mischief throughout the country in order to avenge the death of Bhaumasura. This is the characteristics of the demon. Related to demon, they cannot take that pain. His first business was to set fire in villages, which is very aggressive in the scripture, it says. Towns and industrial and mining places, as well as the residential quarter of the mercantile men who were busy dairy farming and protecting cows. Haribol. Sometimes he would uproot a big mountain and tear it to pieces. In this way, he created great disturbance all over the country, especially in the province of Kathwar. The city of Dwarka was situated in this Kathwar province. And because Lord Krishna used to live in this city, Dvivid specifically made it his target of disturbance. Demon cannot like Krishna somehow. Dvivid was as powerful as 10,000 elephants. As you know, in the arena of Mathura, that Kevalapida was also so strong. Sometime he would go to the seashore, and with his powerful hands, he would create so much disturbance in the sea that he would overflood the neighboring cities and villages. Often he would go to the hermitage of great saintly persons and sages and cause a great disturbance by smashing their beautiful garden and orchids. They are expert in destroying. Haribol. Not only did he create disturbance in that way, but sometimes he would pass urine and stool on that sacred sacrificial arena. What a nonsense, huh? He would thus pollute the whole atmosphere. He also kidnapped both men and women, taking them away from their residential places to the caves of the mountain. Who was the demon who was taking the cowherd boy in the caves? I visited the cave. I forgot the Pralambasura, I think. Anybody knows? Shrutadhar, please correct me if I'm wrong. Putting them with, huh?
What is the question, Prabhu?
There was a demon who was stealing the cowherd boys and hiding in the cave.
Okay, okay, oh no, Homasura?
Bhaumasura, no.
Oh, Hyomasura, Hyomasura,
Huh?
Hyomasura.
Shomasura.
No,
Okay.
no.
I was thinking about Pralambasura. Maybe I'm wrong. Huh? My memory doesn't go. This is how we should churn a little bit. We should find it out during the day. So then he was putting them within the cave, and he would close the entrance with large chunks of stone, like the brungi insect, which arrests and carries away many flies and other insects and put them within the holes of the tree where he lives. He thus regularly defied the law and order of the country. They don't obey anything. Not only that, but he would sometimes pollute the female members of many aristocratic families by forcibly raping them. While creating such great disturbance all over the country, sometimes he heard very sweet musical sound from the Raivataka mountain, and so he entered the mountain region. There he saw that Lord Balaram was present in the midst of many beautiful young girls, enjoying their company while engaged in singing and dancing. He became captivated by the beautiful feature of Lord Balaram's body, each and every part of which was very beautiful, decorated as he was with a garland of lotus flowers. Similarly, all the young girls present, dressed and garlanded with flowers, exhibited much beauty. Lord Balaram seemed to be fully intoxicated from drinking the Varuni beverage, and his eyes appeared to be rolling in a drunken state. Lord Balaram appeared just like the king of elephants in the midst of many she elephants. This gorilla by the name of Dvivid could climb up on the trees and jump from one branch to another. Sometimes he would jerk the branches, creating a particular type of sound, killa, killa, so that Lord Balaram was greatly distracted from the pleasing atmosphere. Sometimes Dvivida would come before the woman and exhibit different types of caricatures. By nature, young women are apt to enjoy everything with laughter and joking. And when the gorilla came before them, they did not take him seriously, but simply laughed at him. However, the gorilla was so rude that even in the presence of Balram, he began to show the lower part of his body to the woman. And sometimes he would come forward to show his teeth while moving his eyebrows. This is a unique demon, huh? He disrespected the woman even in the presence of Balram. As the age of Kali is gonna grow, it says that even devotee, they want to chant or worship, they won't allow this. This is the creature we are looking forward. They will appear like anything. Lord Balaram's name suggests that he is not only very powerful, but he takes pleasure in exhibiting extraordinary strength. So he took a stone and threw it at Dvivid. The gorilla, however, artfully avoided being struck by the stone. In order to insult Balram, the gorilla took away the earthen pot in which the Varuni was kept, the beverage. Dvivid, being thus intoxicated with his limited strength, began to tear off all the valuable clothes worn by Balram and the accompanying young girls. He was so puffed up that he thought that Balram could not do anything to chastise him. And he continued to offend Balramji and his companions. So when Lord Balram personally saw the disturbance created by this gorilla and heard that he had already performed many mischievous activities all over the country, he became very angry and decided to kill him. Immediately he took his club in his hand. The gorilla could understand that now Balram was going to attack him. And in order to counteract Balram, he immediately uprooted a big oak tree. And with great force, he came and struck at Lord Balram's head. Lord Balram, however, immediately caught hold of the big tree and remained undisturbed, just like a great mountain. To retaliate, he took his club by the name of Sunanda and began to hit the gorilla with it. The gorilla's head was severely injured. Currents of blood flowed from his head with great force. But the stream of blood enhanced his beauty like a stream of liquid manganese coming out of a great mountain. The striking of Balram's club did not even slightly disturb him, Haribol, even though he was bleeding. On the contrary, he immediately uprooted another big oak tree, and after clipping off all its leaves, he began to strike Balram's head with it. But Balramji, with the help of his club, tore the tree to pieces. Since the gorilla was very angry, he took another tree in his hand and began to strike Lord Balram's body. They never give up their fight. Each time revolves. Again, Lord Balram tore the tree to pieces and the fighting continued. Each time gorilla would bring out a big tree to strike Balram, Lord Balram would tear the tree to pieces by striking off his club. The gorilla Dvivid would clutch another tree from another direction and again attack Balram in the same way. As a result of this continuous fighting, the forest became treeless. When no more trees were available, Dvivid took help from the hills and threw large pieces of stone like rainfall upon the body of Balram. Lord Balram, also in a great sporting mood, began to smack those big pieces of stone into mere pebbles. The gorilla, being bereft of all trees and stone slabs, now stood before him and waved his strong fist. Then with great force he began to beat the chest of Lord Balram with his fist. This time Lord Balram became most angry. Since the gorilla was striking him with his hand, he would not strike him back with his own weapons, the club or the plow. Simply with his fist, he began to strike the collarbone of the gorilla. This striking proved to be fatal to Dvivid. who immediately vomited blood and fell unconscious upon the ground. When the gorilla fell, it appeared that all the hills and forests tottered. After this horrible incident, all the Siddhas, great sages and saintly persons from the upper planetary system, what they do? Begin to shower flowers on the person of Lord Balram. And sound glorifying the supremacy of Lord Balram were vibrated. All of them began to chant, all glories to Lord Balram. Let us offer our respectful obeisances unto your lotus feet. By your killing this great demon, Dvivin, you have initiated an auspicious era for the world. All such jubilant sound of victory were heard from outer space. After killing the great demon Dvivin and being worshipped by showers of flowers and glorious sounds of victory, Balramji returned to his capital city Dwarka. Very short chapter, huh? Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the second volume, 12th chapter of Krishna, deliverance of the Dvivit gorilla. So we will embark on chapter 13, the marriage of Shamba. Duryodhana, the son of Dhritarashtra, had a marriageable daughter by the name of Lakshmana. She was a very highly qualified girl of the Kuru dynasty, and many princes wanted to marry her. In such cases, the Swayamvar ceremony is held so that the girl may select her husband according to her own choice. In Lakshmana's Swayamvar assembly, when the girl was to select her husband, Shamba appeared. He was the son of Krishna by Jambavati, one of the chief wives of Lord Sri Krishna. So this son, Samba, is so named because he was a very bad child. And he always lived close to his mother. The name Samba indicates a son who is very much his mother's pet. Amba means mother, and Sa means with. Sa means with. So this special name was given to him because he always remained with his mother, Jambavati. He was also known as Jambavati Sutta. Sutta means son, for the same reason. As previously explained, all the sons of Krishna were as qualified as their great father Lord Krishna. So Samba wanted the daughter of Duryodhana, Lakshmana, although she was not inclined to have him. Therefore, Samba kidnapped Lakshmana by force from the Swayamvar assembly. Because Shamba took Lakshmana away from the assembly by force, all the members of the Kuru dynasty, namely Dhritarashtra, Bhishma, Vidura, Ujahan, and Arjun, thought it an insult to their family tradition that the boy Samba could possibly have kidnapped their daughter. All of them knew that Lakshmana was not at all inclined to select him as a husband, and that she was not given the chance to select her own husband. Instead, she was forcibly taken away by this boy Samba. Therefore, they decided that he must be punished. They unanimously declared that he was most impudent and that he had degraded the Kurush family tradition. Therefore, all of them, under the counsel of the elderly members of the Kuru family, decided to arrest the boy Samba but not kill him. They concluded that the girl could not be married to any boy other than Samba since she had already been touched by him. Haribol. That was the old time tradition. Huh? According to the Vedic system, once being used by some boy, a girl cannot be married or given to any other boy. Nor would anyone agree to marry a girl who had already thus associated with another boy. And now, our world, we can see it, Haribol. We don't want to dwell on those things. The elderly member of the family, such as Bhishma, wanted to arrest him. All the members of the Kuru dynasty, especially the great fighters, joined together just to teach him a lesson. And Karna was made the commander-in-chief for this small battle. While the plan was being made to arrest Shamba, the Kurus consoled among themselves that upon his arrest, the member of the Yadu dynasty would be very angry with them. There was every possibility of the Yadus accepting the challenge and fighting with them. But they also thought, quote, if they came here to fight with us, what could they do? The member of the Yadu dynasty cannot equal the member of the Kuru dynasty. Why? Because the king of the Kuru dynasty are the emperors, whereas the king of the Yadu dynasty are able to enjoy the landed property, unquote. The Kurus thought, quote, if they come here to challenge us because their son was arrested, we will nevertheless accept the fight. All of us will teach them a lesson so that automatically they will become subdued under pressure, as the senses are subdued by the mystic yoga process, pranayam. In the parenthesis, in the mechanical system of mystic yoga, the airs within the body are controlled and the senses are subdued and checked for being engaged in anything other than meditation upon Lord Vishnu, parenthesis over. After consultation and after receiving permission from the elderly members of the Kuru dynasty, such as Bhishma and Dhritarashtra, 6 great warriors, Karna, Sala, Bhurishwar, Yagnaketu, and Duryodhana, the father of the girl, all Maharathis, and guided by the great fighter Bhishmadev, attempted to arrest the boy Samba. There were different grades of fighters, including Maharathis, Ekarathi, and Rathi, classified according to their fighting capacity. These Maharathis could fight alone with many thousands of men. All of them combined together to arrest Samba. Samba was also a Maharathi, but he was alone and had to fight with the 6 other Maharathis. Still, he was not deterred when he saw all the great fighters of the Kuru dynasty coming up behind him to arrest him. Bold boy, huh? Alone, he turned toward them and took his nice bow, posing exactly as a lion stands adamant in the face of other animals. Karna was leading the party and he challenged Samba, quote, why are you fleeing? Just stand and we shall teach you a lesson, unquote. When challenged by another Kshatriya to stand and fight, a Kshatriya cannot go away. He must fight. So therefore, as soon as Samba accepted the challenge and stood alone before them, he was overpowered by the showers of arrows thrown by all the great warriors. And as a lion is never afraid of being chased by many wolves and jackals, similarly, Samba, the glorious son of the Yadu dynasty, endowed with inconceivable potencies as the son of Lord Krishna, became very angry at the warriors of the Kuru dynasty for improperly using arrows against him. He fought them with great talent. First of all, he struck each of the 6 charioteers with 6 separate arrows. Another 4 arrows were used to kill the charioteer horses, 4 on each chariot. 1 arrow was used to kill the driver, and 1 arrow was used for Karna, not Krishna, used for Karna as well as the other celebrated fighters. While Samba was so diligently fighting alone with the 6 great warriors, they all appreciated the inconceivable potency of the boy Samba. Even in the midst of fighting, they admitted frankly that this boy Samba was wonderful. But the fighting was conducted in the Kshatriya spirit. So altogether, although it was improper, they obliged Samba to get down from his chariot, now broken to pieces. Of the 6 warriors, 4 took care to kill Samba's 4 horses, and one of them managed to cut the string of Samba's bow so that he could no longer fight with them. In this way, with great difficulty and after a severe fight, Samba was left bereft of his chariot and they were able to arrest him. Thus, the warriors of the Kuru dynasty accepted the great victory and took their daughter Lakshmana away from him. Thereafter, they entered the city of Hastinapur in a great trump. The great sage Narada immediately carried the news to the Yadu dynasty that Samba was arrested and told them the whole story. The member of the Yadu dynasty became extremely angry at Samba's being arrested and improperly so by the 6 warriors. Now, with the permission of the head of the Yadu dynasty's king, Ugrasena, they prepared to attack the capital city of Kuru dynasty. So we should be punctual. We should stop here. And the devotees who has to perform other their regulative duties, they are welcome to leave. And the devotees who would like to stay and chant for another extra hour, they are welcome to do so. With those thoughts, with wonderful stories, when we read this Gorilla Dvivit and this Samba story, is so nice. So with those thoughts, always remain happy, jubilant, and totally fearless. And whoever you come across, give them a kind word that their life can also become successful and with no fear. With those thoughts, I would like to appreciate all the devotees who every day join from Houston, from Fresno, New Hampshire, Aurora, Illinois, New York, New Jersey, Virginia, Boston, Boise, Atlanta, Phoenix, Tempe, Austin, College Station, San Jose, Portland, Dallas, Detroit, Chicago, Naperville, Philadelphia, Charlotte, Baltimore, Baton Rouge, Alachua, Orlando, Sanford, Jacksonville, Loganville, Georgia, Maine, Ottawa, New Orleans, Vancouver, Toronto, New Delhi, Pondicherry. I think I will have to talk to this the boy from Alaska. What was his name? Sachin.